to correct each other, to coach each other, to tell them what is wrong, what is right. I want to tell you a story that always when we rebuke somebody or telling to somebody something to correct, you have to make sure not to put down the person and not to humiliate somebody by putting them down or take the dignity of the person, which is very, very important. Why? Each one of us, a boy or a girl, we are in image of God. So if you're humiliating somebody, you're hurting God. And a story goes like this. A yeshiva student, he cannot control himself. He has such a big yetzerara, such a big desire to go to the movies. He steals the car of the Rosh Yeshiva in Shabbat. He drives the car to the mall, goes into the movie. Shabbat. So of course, to enter to the movie, you have to bring your wallet, you have to bring money, you have to buy a ticket and seats. So the Rosh Yeshiva arrives to the yeshiva and he sees the boy is missing. And somebody came to him discreetly and he said, you know, Issachar, his name is Issachar, he stole your car. He knows when the rabbi comes to the yeshiva, Friday he comes with the car, he parks it and he puts in his drawer the car key. So he stole your car and he went in Shabbat to the movie theater. What the Rosh Yeshiva should do? The Rosh Yeshiva starts to walk to the mall, comes to the movie theater. Of course, the guard over there, you have to pay. The Rosh Yeshiva says, I don't come to watch the movie over here. I'm looking for my student. Please let me in. I'm not in the movies, I promise you. I'm just looking for somebody that I lost. He's very precious to me. Just let me in. So the girl let him in, and the Rosh Yeshiva comes and sits to this next student right in the movie theater. The Bachur gets crazy. He sees, Rosh Yeshiva next to him in the movie theater, in Shabbat. He don't know what to do. So he is totally in shock. He looks at the Rosh Yeshiva, and the Rosh Yeshiva said, no, don't worry, I just came to tell you something. I came to tell you the popcorn on this movie is not kosher. So he doesn't tell them about why you stole my car. He doesn't tell them about what you're doing in Shabbat here, or how you purchase, how you carry money in Shabbat. You drive car in Shabbat, you stole a car, you did all the averot of the Torah. He's telling them, please, I just tell them, I know that in this movie theater, the popcorn is not good. How much smart do you have to be not to humiliate somebody, not to take the dignity of somebody? So why I'm telling you this? Because the Rosh Yeshiva get up and he moves. That's it, he gives his message. He goes out and he starts to walk to the yeshiva. This is 25 minutes walking. And he sees a shade. Karen, listen to this. My wife asking to make a picture for all the ladies in the OHEL for the calendar. Karen, one second, let me put you over here. Everybody you should see everybody over here. What's going on? No, you don't saw. You look what's going on over here. Everybody is listening to you. You want to say something to them? Say Shana Tova. Shana Tova u'Metuvah. So he's. Okay. So the Rosh Yeshiva sees somebody is walking, and he sees the Bachur is not walking after him, and he sits next to him, and he went to the yeshiva. So what this means? because the Rosh Yeshiva keep his dignity and his kavod. He doesn't hurt him. He just tell him something out of love, and he did it so wisely. So this could happen in any family. This could happen with your children. It could happen with your husband, with your sister, with your brother. I know families in our community, the children become extreme and they humiliating the parents. It's not kosher, I will not eat it. Listen, ואהבת לרעך כמוך, כבד את אביך ואת אמך. All this is the Torah. The Torah tells us everything has to be done with love. Everything has to be with respect. And I will tell you a story, shocking story about me, personal story. When I was age 14, I went to the yeshiva from age 13, and I started to do Aleph Bet. They put me in the class, they learning Rashi, Gemara, and I don't know Aleph Bet yet. When we came from Israel. My father, he was so Zionist, Zichron Livracha, he was working in CHABAD. It is a company called Machtishim Chemicals from the Dead Sea. Ofer Levi, this is the brothers. We went to the yeshiva from age 13, and I started to do Aleph Bet. They put me in the class, they learning Rashi, Gemara, and I don't know Aleph Bet yet. When we came from Israel. My father, he was so Zionist, Zichron Livracha, he was working in CHABAD. There's a company called Machtishim Chemicals from the Dead Sea. Ofer Levi, this is the brothers, big company. And my father says, if we will not work, who will protect Israel? Who will take care of Israel? So he got this idea out of love, not chas v'shalom to be rebellion. He decided to work even in CHABAD because there was even in CHABAD in order to be a good Jew, loyal to Am Israel. I learned in the yeshiva, if somebody is not Shomer Shabbat, he is breaking Shabbat befaresia. He is breaking the law of Shabbat in public. If he touched the wine becomes a nesach. It's a knas. The Rabbanim, the Talmud, give him a penalty. He's concerned like a goy. Like a goy touched the wine. If somebody mechalel Shabbat in public, he touched the wine, became nesach.
And it's not in public?
1 second. No, now we're not halacha shiur over here, please. Afterwards, now, how I know my father is mechalel Shabbat befaresia? Because every third Shabbat, I was dorming in the yeshiva in Netivot. Every third Shabbat, I'm coming to the house in Beersheba. My father is a proud Jew. He does kiddush. Shabbat night, Seudah. He gives kiddush. Everybody has to test. He's the first one, and then everybody from the family members. In the morning, he is go to the bus station to be picked up from the company bus, and I'm going to the shul. Shabbat morning. So when I learned this halacha, I said, that's it. My father has a whole manufacturer in the house, in the villa. He does cha-cha, he does vodka, he does wine, and the wine is homemade of my father. But because it's mechalel Shabbat in public, the wine is nesach. I cannot touch it. So my father does the kiddush. After I learned this halacha, I came home. He does the kiddush. He does the kiddush, and he passes over. I make myself like I'm drinking, and I'm passing over. I don't drink. But what I should say to my father? Your wine is nesach. Don't do kiddush. What I should say? I'm between the kaved et avicha ve'et imecha, which is from the 10 Commandments, and between gezerat chachamim. The chachamim give him a penalty. He concerned like a goy because he's mechalel Shabbat in public. This is first Shabbat. 3 weeks later, I'm going to the yeshiva. 3 weeks later, I'm coming back home. Told you, every 3 weeks, I'm coming home. I'm coming home in the same movie. My father makes a kiddush. He gives over to my mother to me because I'm the oldest, and then to my other brothers and my sister. And I'm making myself drinking. In the morning, my father goes to the bus station to be picked up, and I'm going to the shul. How many weeks already passed?
2.
6 weeks.
6.
Another round. Week number 9, I'm coming back home. My father, Shabbat night, Friday night, he makes the kiddush. I'm making myself drinking, and I'm giving over the cup. My mother calls me to a side. Why you don't drink the wine for my father? She's smart cookie, you know, ladies, they are in the detail. So she saw that I don't drink. I said, Mommy, you know, I just come with the bus from Netivot to Beersheba, and my father's wine is very strong. Ah, I understand. But what about 3 weeks before? You also wasn't feeling better? What about the 3 weeks before? So she watching me already 9 weeks. I mean, 3 times, but in the period of time of 9 weeks. I said, Mommy, if you insist, I tell you the truth. Because after the kiddush, everybody goes to wash his hands. And Mommy, my mother called me aside, and I told her, I tell you the truth. I learned this halacha. If a mechalel Shabbat befaresia, somebody breaks the law of Shabbat in public, he breaks the law of Shabbat. His wine is nesek. I'm not allowed to touch. My mother says, okay, Shmilo. You know, Shmilo dismissed. Okay, my son, go to wash your hands. In the morning, knock on my door. My father knocks on the door. He says, who is sleeping? You have to go to the shul. He's coming with me to the shul. I don't know, maybe my father took a vacation this Shabbat. I don't know, nothing. We went to the shul. Shabbat afternoon, broken news in the neighborhood, Shchuna Dalet, if you know Beersheba. Oh, my father was to work, he got a crew, special department, 25 people. He was number 25, or he was one of the 25. He doesn't went this Shabbat to work. This was a chemical explosion and 24 people died.
Wow.
Got burned. And my father, because he went to the shul with me and said to go to work, he survived.
Wow.
After the news broke down, I'm telling you a story in the
50 years.
late 70s.
Wow.
So my father told